From Mike Elrick comes a podcast about people who go to work, who are part of a team.
And remember, next Friday is Hawaiian Shirt Day.
Okay, but I could set the building on fire.
Who respect their boss.
We need to talk about your flair.
Well, I have 15 pieces on.
15 is the minimum.
Shawn,
For example, has 37 pieces of flair on today. And a terrific smile.
and need to escape.
I don't like my job, and I don't think I'm gonna go anymore.
You asked it around here, you bring around my suit, it's gone.
What are you doing? Come on.
That is not paid for by them. That is paid for by the people of Detroit.
You might qualify them, Mel.
I'm not qualified for this job.
Let me tell you something. You want to go right now? Okay? You want to go right now, Elrick?
All right, Elrick does not want to go right now because Mike Elrick is not here today.
We are taking over.
Why are you so quiet over there? Fix your mic. Oh, look at this framing on this shot, too. All hell is breaking loose here. But yeah,
You don't need to see any more of me than that.
What are you talking about? For those Patreon viewers, they get to see like Shawn really zoomed in, Erika really far away. And
Let me get off camera here. That's better.
no, stop that. Knock that off.
That's better. This is the Erika takeover, by the way.
We'll take it over, Erika. Go ahead. Well, let me just mention Elrick, by the way, just is going to Europe again. I feel like this is like the 9th European trip that he's made.
He has made a lot of European trips lately.
He has.
He keeps going to the homeland, and then this time he's hopping over the water and going to motorcycle across France.
So, well, right now he is in Ireland.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Here's where this is a picture he sent, which is a field, which he claims that's Ireland, but looking at that, I mean, that's really kind of anywhere around here.
That could be Hillsdale.
Hillsdale, right? And then there's a picture of him on the train.
Yeah, he could be anywhere.
He's going to the old dinosaur park out in, what's the name of that little community west of Ann Arbor? Out by the racetrack.
The Irish Hills?
Yes, that's where he is.
It's good. So what you're claiming it's an Erika takeover. Why, Shawn, is this an Erika takeover?
No, we want it to be an Erika takeover.
Oh, okay. Right? I kind of don't want to fix your camera either.
No, I don't. No, I don't need to be on camera.
I'm
a newspaper person for a reason.
Really? Are you uncomfortable being on camera?
Not really, but I don't need to be.
I'm entirely uncomfortable being on camera.
I mean, I'm indifferent to it.
Yeah? I hate being on camera. I've always hated it.
Let's ask Erika why she likes to be on camera.
Who said I like it?
Oh,
you wanted to tell stories about sickos.
Oh, you were going through my... Yeah, we were
a story of yours popped up, and I said, oh, that's Erika. And so I started looking, and then I noticed, can I ask a question, please, about
You always ask questions.
The editorial decision? It was sort of fun. There's a story, Marc, she's doing, and then there's a cut to Erika at a desk with a highlighter, highlighting something important on a piece of paper. And I was thinking to myself, okay, so whose decision is that? It's just a nice little narrative. It's a nice little narrative. It's a nice little narrative tool, right? It's kind of a transition. Plus, it shows that you're doing the work, you're doing the digging, you're exposing these.
No, go on. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. Your feedback.
No. It's not feedback at all. I'm curious. I thought, that's clever. It breaks it up, right? So you're not just...
Yeah, we were lacking in the video department on that story.
The truth comes out.
I wondered.
And we did have someone come in and we were talking about actually what we needed to, I guess some of my feedback was, hey, show your process a little bit more, this storytelling guru, if you will.
Well, you took the pen across the page with some serious authority. So
I'm a very pen and paper type person, and I do use the highlighters, and that's what I do. So my photographer was just filming me doing it.
That's a good trick, though, don't you think, Marc?
So that was real.
Not a trick.
It was real. That's what I mean, that's how I take notes. I actually write.
Exactly. I shouldn't call that a trick. That's a, what do you want to call it? It's a...
I mean, I had to go through the documents, and he just was filming me going through the lawsuit.
Yeah, I just thought I thought it was clever to show that.
What case was that? Because I asked Erika, what are you working on? And boy, do you work on some of the most depressing stuff.
Yeah. That one, well, you were just saying, Shawn, my timeline, my social media timeline.
It's very uplifting. Very inspiring.
What did you see? So that one was... I think you said sicko misconduct. It was a quote from the attorney I was working with on that story. So it's about I had started working on the story a week prior, and then the lawsuit came about. So I learned a little bit of information, and essentially is about this sergeant, former sergeant for Dearborn Heights, who now works for Ann Arbor. And he's accused of some pretty, as the lawyer says, sicko stuff.
I mean, forced oral sex was one of them.
Right. And recording it, harassment.
Recording it?
Yes, recording it, and just sending pictures of his genitals over Snapchat and text messages to a couple of officers. The one officer says in the lawsuit, hey, I know 10 more people he's done this to also. So, I mean, I guess, according to the attorney I spoke to, John Marco, he said, hey, he expected more people to come forward by the end of the week. So Ann Arbor did put him on administrative leave.
Wow. Now, what's interesting to me is, you hear sex assault cases all the time, and there's always the guys going, if that was me, I would have kicked his ass. And it's like, well, it doesn't always work like that when, it's...
And also, by the way, these officers he was harassing were men.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know, a lot of people, when they hear that, they assume, oh, it's male and female. But no, it's actually men. He was...
Now, see, I was being more sexist
allegedly
to assume that there would never be another female officer.
Oh,
I'm joking.
No, I know.
I knew it was men, but it just always kind of surprises me with these stories.
But Dearborn Heights said, hey, in the beginning, we tried to investigate this, and they wouldn't say anything. That's kind of their side of it. So we closed the investigation back in 2023.
Oh, the victims wouldn't speak.
Yes. But then the attorney for the plaintiffs is saying, well, no, you guys investigated yourself. You should have brought in Michigan State Police.
Yeah, independent, right? A third party. Always a third party.
Because I guess their attorney is saying, hey, they felt like they couldn't come forward because they were already being threatened. One of them was suspended at one point. One, has serious mental health issues because of the alleged.
Well, that's a fun, uplifting
abuse.
story that you get to work on.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's just on top of the accused pedophile and the whole Vista Maria investigation situation.
Does that ever get to you? Does that ever
Yes.
I was just about to ask that question.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I spoke to one of my bosses. Was so sweet. She's like, "Hey, I just wanted to check in on you. You've had some rough stories lately." And I was logging an interview, and this girl was just this former resident of Vista Maria. And if no one knows what Vista Maria is, it's been around for like 140 years. It's this facility for, I guess, vulnerable girls and young women, foster care. There's a sex trafficking area. A lot of girls who just have had troubled childhoods, they end up there. So they have some really, really horrific stories. And there was this girl I was interviewing, and she just was the things she was saying. I mean, no one in their lives should ever have to deal with anything like that. And I just was like, oh my gosh, you wish you could help these people. But
so how are you handling it? Because you went from working in the private sector for an insurance company, doing sort of these lighthearted community centered videos to this.
Well, you take the fun stories when you can too. So I do that. I got to hang out with a mean alligator like a week ago.
I saw I saw that.
That was interesting. And then I also have a really good therapist.
Yeah, but that alligator though, God, that alligator was the pet of
that was
some folks that probably weren't doing things that they should be doing.
Yeah, he was found near this known drug house where this guy rescued an alligator.
So even that story
a year before.
Well, okay, out of I mean that story, say, versus the Dearborn police or Dearborn Heights police story.
Yeah.
What gets more traffic? What gets more hits?
Sadly, those really sick stories.
We were talking before the show just about different things, and Eric and I share a deep hatred for both the Menendez brothers and
Gypsy Rose.
Gypsy Rose,
as you should.
No, I know, but she brought up the question, like, why are we so fascinated with these cases? And the new one, the big one that dominates the news, is the Diddy case. And some people will say, well, he hasn't murdered anybody that we know of. I think he has probably. I mean, he's been linked to ordering the murders of Tupac and Biggie, so there is that. That's not this case. But why are we so attracted to these things? And I'm like, because it's fucking weird. It's just so different.
What people are capable of. Ugh.
No, absolutely. And it goes both ways, though, right?
What do you mean?
Well, for example, in my area of this in sports, we're drawn to it sometimes because of, we want to see people lose and failure and all that. But generally, we're drawn to it because we want to see what we're capable of.
The other way.
The other way.
Exactly.
What we're not all that interested in is the middle, which is where most of us live.
That's true. That's a good point.
But are you interested in that kind of stuff, Shawn? Because you don't like heavy topics.
No, the heavy topics I'm drawn to are more about, I don't know, figuring your way out through the heavy shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No.
The struggle.
So
I'm drawn to the struggle and people figuring out the struggle and surviving the struggle.
And I think that is what also help when I do these stories. If I feel like I'm helping, at least when I interview people and I can make them feel heard. A lot of times I hate when people they haven't been heard forever and then they have to call the news. You shouldn't have to call the news to get any results. It shouldn't be that way, and it pisses me off. So if I can help some people in that way, that makes me feel a certain way.
Is that part of why you were drawn to journalism in the first place?
Yeah. And I thought doing PR, which there's a lot of things I really liked about PR. I thought it was just the storytelling, but it didn't have that accountability and it didn't have that.
Well, it's not terribly, it can be a little biased.
That too.
By the very definition of public relations.
Yeah.
But you needed a break, maybe.
Well, yeah, I left for health reasons. I left Fox 2 for health reasons, and I definitely needed a break.
I remember a good friend of mine, Mike knows him well too, who was a longtime cop reporter at the Free Press. After a while, he just couldn't.
It takes its toll.
He couldn't keep doing it. Yeah.
I tell first responders and police officers, I almost every day I talk to them, and I'm like, I don't know how you guys do it. I just don't.
What do they say? Because I don't understand that. I think I've talked about my brother before, who's prosecutor down in Virginia, and he's like, most of the stories don't. There's certain ones that get to him. Pedophilia, child sex crimes. He goes that it has really destroyed him to the point where he's like, I don't know how much longer I want to do this. So I don't know.
The Southfield police chief was almost in tears when he was talking about that pedophile, that accused pedophile, with these two. He's 69, I believe. Yep. He's a family member.
Was he a teacher?
And he was a teacher in 3 other states, so they think there's more. But the kids that he is accused of abusing were under 10. Family members, they trusted him, and he was breaking down. I said, "Well, what are you guys doing?" And then I was speaking to the other officer there, and there's this crisis team that they have now that's in place because that one, I guess, really affected some of them. As you were saying, it's those kinds of cases.
You think about medical people too. Have you guys watched The Pit?
I heard about that. Someone just told me to watch that.
Yeah, it's really good. But just this idea of
You mean ER2?
Yeah. But
I guess it's really Is it really graphic?
It is very graphic.
Oh, I'm in then. My bad person.
I mean, you are. But for other reasons.
For that, yeah.
Dealing with the trauma and finding ways to not completely take it home with you. It is similar in journalism when you're covering like what you have to cover, or right when you're on a police beat or some kind of crime beat, court beat, even.
I think if you do one story and then you go on to the next, it's not as bad. But if you get deep into some of these investigations, it gets, or court cases, and you see,
So how do you let it? Here's my question: how do you let it not skew your view of the larger world?
Because you see all the good people who, for example, I guess
it's gonna have to skew your view of the world.
It has,
without a doubt.
It has. But you also, I guess, when you see the sickest of the sick the sick. I mean, I remember this one guy, this murderer. He's a convicted murderer. Just gave me the dirtiest, meanest look. He despised me, and when I saw his eyes, they were so dark, they were soulless, there was nothing there. Then I saw
Do they look like
the
Shawn's?
Opposite. They look, actually exactly like Shawn's.
There's nothing there.
Nothing there, vacant.
A shark's eyes.
Yeah. But then you see other people who have the exact opposite. It's just what you were talking about. It's the other end of the spectrum. And you get to see the best of the best people in this world too.
Yeah, but nobody wants to hear those stories.
Yeah, they do.
I mean,
they do sometimes.
No, they
do
don't.
sometimes.
No, I
No,
think
they really
I think
do.
That's why at the end of the
our numbers show that.
They really do sometimes. Sometimes they do.
Sometimes, but I think overall,
Overall, no.
I mean, I have an 11-year-old, and she watches the news only because I have it on, and she gets really drawn to it, and I have to explain to her, like, look, the news is the news because it's the unusual.
I thought he was going to say she gets really drunk when the DR came out, but then it went to drawn. So good. I'm glad.
You think I'm that bad of a parent?
No, I just thought, okay, you got ahead of her time daughter.
But that's why it's the news, is because these are just weird stories that don't really exist in the normal world. But I feel
But they do. They're all part of the world.
Yeah, but it still is.
It's like matter.
Not that many people get murdered. Not that many people. The horrific stories just don't happen that often. I think sometimes it feels like they do because we see it all the time.
Back in the 90s, when even the early 2000s, before newspapers got gutted the way they are now, when we relied on newspapers for national news. My wife used to read the paper every day. We were living in Alabama, and we had an A section. The A section of the paper, you had local news on the front page, maybe the next page, and then the rest of the A section was basically the worst of the United States and to some degree the rest of the world.
Yeah, because if it bleeds, it leads.
And then the B section was all local and so forth. Anyway, I finally had to tell her, stop. If you peruse and go through the A section, you're finding out what happened, what was awful in Idaho today, what was awful in Vermont today, Florida. Do you remember that about newspapers?
Sure.
Yeah.
There'd be 6 graphs of a double murder or whatever, or whatever it was.
Well, now because of social media, now it's just simply called doom scrolling.
No, for sure, it's different now. But
drawn to negative.
But I finally said, why? You got to get your head out of that A section. But you're right, and then the internet comes along, and if that's, I have a friend that all she does is go down the rabbit hole of sex trafficking all over the world.
God.
That's what she.
Why?
Oh, my.
And serial killers and all this kind of.
That I understand.
Serial killers, I mean, that's.
Because
and so she's convinced that men are, 90% rotten. And, I don't know what the percentage is, but it's probably not 90%.
90% of men are rotten?
Yeah, I hope it's not 90%.
She's convinced that men are 90% rotten.
Yeah, because of just
that's the problem.
Being in this world of one story after another like this.
When are people going to realize that most stuff on social media is bullshit?
I know.
The positive and the negative is all bullshit.
Even though you're not drawn to the positive.
Me? Well, no, I'll say it. So there's... I don't want to give too much away, but there's
no joy at all.
Huh?
Make yourself vulnerable.
No, but
you're in a safe space. Erika is here.
Just knock it off. I'm not.
Erika is
not
here. Remember from her first time in here?
No, what?
She was talking about her ability to sort of see into people and how she almost went into crime.
Now I'm worried about my eyes.
I know you're making a funny face.
Psychiatric.
Funny face. I just opened my eyes wider.
Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by the smile over there.
Some people think.
Oh,
I've been accused of being Asian because my eyes are so.
Erika
not joking.
sees.
That is the true thing. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a safe space.
What? I forgot what I was even going to say at this point.
You said you don't.
Now
want to
I'm
give
more just interested in looking at myself.
You said you don't want to give too much away, but.
Oh, so there's certain people that I know that are on social media. When I see their posts, I'm like, that's not reality.
Oh, we know those people. Oh my gosh!
Like that's the kind of fun scrolling to just go to see the people that you
make yourself feel
friends
better.
With. No, just to know that this thing
other
you're
people
doing
have worse than you.
Bullshit. It's just I don't understand.
You know what I can't stand, and I'm sure people will listen to this and be like, "Oh gosh, Erika, tell us how you really feel," because I have friends who do this. They're married or they're in a relationship and they put posts on each other's walls that we can all see. I'm like, why don't you just talk to each other? What are you doing?
I could not agree.
What are you doing?
Like what kind of stuff?
Well, it's my wife's birthday, the most beautiful, amazing woman. And it's like, okay, tell her that.
Yeah,
right?
or just post something. Post a picture, like say happy birthday or whatever. But
especially when it's a couple that you've seen fight in public. And
I
it's
know
like,
those
what?
kind. You know they're not happy.
No.
You know it.
No, they're lying to themselves.
Or it's like 5 posts a day, pictures of themselves, and it's just.
But I just. Or do you like that, Shawn?
No, I'm not really into that.
Who is? No one is. So stop doing it.
Stop doing it.
What kind of post? How about this? What kind of posts do you like? Do you
None of them
enjoy seeing?
I just hate.
But
social
yet you
media
keep going.
so
But yet
much.
you keep going.
Only because I have to.
That's what you tell yourself.
I like a random cute kitten like laying on a big dog. Or,
exactly. You like people that shouldn't be friends being friends.
I like animal posts.
I love animal posts.
I like.
You like cats being asshole posts?
Yeah, those are funny. I mean, anything with animals, I usually I'm like, okay. Or just funny posts about, memes or just funny videos and things like that.
Oh, yeah, that's why I like the closed circuit. I think it's CCTV fails or whatever. Closed circuit. Like that's
I would watch that.
I like laughing at other people's pain.
You like
yeah, exactly.
You like watching a seagull walk into a convenience store and rip off a bag of chips.
No, that's dumb. No.
I don't know if I think that's funny, but when people fall, I love videos of people just hurting themselves.
Oh, okay.
My favorite all-time video are when people go fall on an escalator. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Great.
I find that hilarious. People falling, going up an escalator, and they fall going up. I don't know why.
Or just falling off porches. And
falling is funny.
It's just great.
Probably because I've done it. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Anything we can relate to, I guess.
I was riding my bike once along Coolidge, and I wiped out. I wiped out hard. I hit like a curve.
Somebody filming it.
And I stood up and went like that, like, ta-da!
Of course you did.
In my head, my first thought was, is anybody filming this?
Oh, God, we have to live that way now. Isn't that crazy?
Does Huntington Cleaners have a closed-circuit camera that caught that I could get a hold of?
What about travel pictures?
No. Like Elrick's the one.
They have to be really good.
I don't mind travel. Like,
don't post your ugly, stupid pictures. They have to be really nice photos.
Like, I would enjoy seeing Elrick.
No, you wouldn't.
And
no, you wouldn't.
If somebody took a photo of him on his bike in France, I would enjoy that.
Okay, but if he came over to your house and set up like a projector,
no, that's
exactly. So that's not that different.
No, it is different because that's an hour of 150 slideshows.
I remember being a kid.
Slide photos.
That's so much.
I was probably 8, and my parents had their friends come over who were living in Argentina for like 8 months, and they brought their projector.
Oh my gosh!
The slideshow thing. And I remember at 8 going, this is really boring. And that's probably just stuck with me my whole life. Like, I don't want to see your pictures of Argentina when I can see, really well done ones.
It depends on the social media site, right? Like for Facebook, for example, I have some friends in Alabama whose son's a senior in high school, and he's a pitcher. He's going to go play college ball.
Nice.
And they went on a state title run. And I really enjoyed over the last few weeks seeing action shots of him pitching and the reaction and the team that was fun because they're not people you talk to that often. And
it's nice to be able to see what people are up to.
Exactly. That's to me the best part of Facebook.
Exactly. And that sounds relatively normal and not fake. That's actually what this person's doing.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas Instagram, it's just I love food videos and cooking and there's so much good content out there that Instagram is actually pretty great.
Yeah, that's probably the one I use the most. I used to love Twitter, but that one.
Yeah, no, that's become Twitter's nasty.
I don't even know what Threads is.
No one does. No one's on it.
Yeah.
And Blue Sky
no
is
one's on
Twitter
Blue Sky
for liberals. Is that it?
What's Blue Sky?
It's the one Jack Dorsey made once he left Twitter. He basically made the same thing, and it's more. It's become left, and Twitter's become right, but Twitter it's kind of what you want to make of it, and who you follow, and what you look at, and
a little
what you
bit.
see. My only problem with it is every tweet, the first response are blue checkmark people with just wild takes on things. It's like, all right, I don't need to see. So I've kind of just stopped reading.
But the blue checkmark people used to be the more reasonable people.
Sure. Well,
on Twitter. That's what's funny.
I had to get that for all of my accounts because there's so many of these fake people making these people making fake profiles and then messaging people. It's so creepy, especially on Facebook.
Yeah,
making these fake accounts under my name. And I'm like, at least, and I message them. I'm like, you didn't even spell my name right.
Have you had the AI stuff done to you? I thought you were talking about that once. I know Dupeneck was talking about that.
Yeah, she had some creepy ones.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, and she said that people have used this is what's hard about.
They're asking for money.
Yeah, or hitting on guys
That
using
too,
a fake AI video of her, and it's like I just wish that one of these social media sites could put a stop to it, but they have no interest in doing that.
No, they don't. Facebook, I've noticed, is the worst one. But I mean, someone created a fake profile of me on Hinge and took my voice. It was weird.
Oh.
Now,
I know.
How did you find out? Did they have your personal email or phone number? Or I mean, I don't know.
It was sent to me.
Oh, someone sent it to you?
So I reported it. Yeah.
Really?
Somebody was looking out for you.
Yeah, people, which is really nice. People do send me the fake accounts.
And these are not people you know. These are strangers.
Strangers.
See, Mark, there's some decency out there.
There's a lot. Yeah, that's what I mean. When the sickos come out, so do the good people.
There you go, Mark.
What do you mean, see, Mark? Okay, that's great.
He just doesn't believe that you can do anything. I don't want to say positive, but just.
But you ever notice when something really bad happens,
and people won't be interested?
No, I mean it depends. Depends on the story, I guess. I mean, that's why the news always ends with a palate cleanser at the end.
Yeah, that's true. There's always that kicker story.
I just think about over the years, the most viral stories we do are generally stories that bring a tear to somebody's eye because something decent has happened.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, that's great. I mean, I'm not going to comment on that. I'm just surprised. Like what?
Oh, the John Carlisle. Do you ever read John Carlisle?
Uh-huh. We've had him on the show.
Wrote a story about a dog that wandered across the UP and found its way to this.
I remember that story. Oh, see, I just automatically thought,
this nursing. I mean,
feelings about it.
No, that was probably the most popular story he's ever written. And one
for
of the
people
most,
who hadn't, I interrupted. Go ahead.
No, that was it.
For people who didn't know the story, though.
Yeah, he found a way to a senior home of some kind and ended up getting adopted, and that story became national news. I mean, it's
just grunting.
But people
that's
are
very nice.
People are starved for it. It's the same. What's the therapy show on Apple TV?
Shrinking?
Yeah, it's the same reason. Or Ted Lasso. It's the same reason Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
Became such a big hit. You know, okay, fine. We love the murder shows and the detective shows. For sure. Game of Thrones, all right. But at the same time, Ted Lasso's.
But don't you like shows that
just as popular
feature, where the people are just bad people, like Curb? I mean, Larry David's character in Curb is not a good person.
But why do we?
Sunny in Philadelphia are the four worst people in the world.
Why do we? Seinfeld is the same way, right? Obviously,
I think it's cathartic.
But why do we watch Curb? Because
he acts in a way that because he acts in a way that we wish we.
But if it
what it all comes down to also is you were talking about the two extremes, but also there's a relatableness.
No question.
Well, I mean, with Curb, he's a guy that is doing things that you wish you could,
or saying things you want to say.
Yeah, but we're all thinking, right?
Yeah, right. And sometimes it's uncomfortable, but we ultimately watch it because it's funny. If it weren't funny, right? It's it's clever.
But I would much rather watch Curb or Sunny than Shrinking, and I love Shrinking, or Ted Lasso, and I like Ted Lasso too, but I'd rather watch those terrible people. Seinfeld, 4 terrible people in the TV show Seinfeld, and it's the most successful sitcom of all time.
It's true.
Archie Bunker.
But I would say they're not terrible if you compare them to like Gypsy Rose. Oh God.
I know, and that's a real
they're
person.
More like just regular people. Like George Costanza lies.
Sure.
But more than probably most people, but he's harmless.
Yeah, unlike Gypsy Rose.
Yeah, there you go.
Do you know who Gypsy Rose is?
Yeah, we've talked about it in here before.
I can't stand her.
I don't know
why, because she killed her mom.
Well,
she didn't kill her
Erika's bad side, do you? No.
I can get a little. The older I get, the more direct I get, and I think some people are starting to.
That's everybody.
I think it's you just start to not care.
Oh, it's the greatest thing about getting old.
It really is. No one
anything.
People talk about it, but now that I'm starting to experience it, it's kind of great.
I don't think Shawn's ever cared.
No, that's not true. I still do.
What do you care about?
I don't want to hurt people.
Well, no one wants.
No, we don't not hurt, but I don't have
what
time
other people
for,
think, or
what other people.
I mean, I'm in a business too where you kind of have to care a little bit about what people think of your work, because
which sucks a little bit.
You want to stay relevant. You want people to be interested. You want to justify your job, so you do kind of have to think about it some, if we're being honest.
Yeah, in our jobs, we have to hold back a lot, probably.
Yeah,
most.
Just
caring about your work is different than caring about what people think of you as a person. Does that make sense?
I mean, yes and no, but for a lot of us, the work is part of how you think about yourself and who you are. And
it's a reflection. Your work is often a reflection of you, who you are.
Exactly.
I know, but doing the podcast, like, I mean, there's been plenty of negative feedback, and I'm like, these people don't know me.
I mean, but your point is taken. Do I care that Erika thinks I have soulless dead eyes, and apparently you,
I don't think that.
And apparently you do too. I mean,
I actually think you have very warm, welcoming eyes.
Hazel eyes, right?
They're hazel?
I don't know what they are.
You don't know what color your own eyes are?
I don't. Yeah, that's hazel. I've never heard a guy say that I have hazel eyes.
Well, that's what it says. That's what it says on my driver's license. So
that's because you told them to say.
I thought your eyes were more green than hazel.
You don't get to tell them. They tell you.
Really?
What do you mean? They tell you.
Well, you can't sit there and lie to the state and say I've got green eyes when they're black or dark brown or whatever, right? Because then you can, you get pulled over. No, officer, that's not me. My eyes are actually red.
But wait a second, don't you tell them?
You thought they were yellow.
Don't you tell them what color you're...
So they chose for you?
Well,
what?
No, but they have to agree what color your eyes are, right?
What if it's like some person who can't see?
Yeah. What if they're hitting on you?
So you can just...
Yeah.
So you can do the same with... You can say, okay, I weigh 165 pounds.
Yeah, they don't weigh you.
204. No, I know, but you get to... But if you don't give them a figure that's within the ballpark, right? I mean, your license has to reflect some reality.
Except that I was 180.
Oh, how tall are you? Oh, I'm going to put down 5'7".
I would bet you anything. No guy has a driver's license.
You know what? They should have a scale, an eye doctor there. You know,
you can just go in and say, whatever you want.
A tape measure. I would love to see that.
There's no guy that probably has a driver's license that is anywhere between 5'10" or 5'11", because when they just say I'm 6 feet tall, right?
Yeah, right.
You know, you can't get away with it, I guess, if you're 5'9", 5'8".
Right. But I guess the
5'10", stretch it by 2
The point
inches.
is it a little hurtful that Erika sees nothing behind my eyes? Maybe, but I'll be okay.
It does always.
Mark feeling the same way.
Well, yeah. Consider the source.
I know there's nothing.
Most of the people who
I know there's nothing.
You say you know it.
Yeah.
And I was kidding. I was kidding. I don't know if Mark was.
No, I don't think he was.
Yeah, I don't think he was.
No.
What about you?
Yeah.
No, you are
having no soul.
You are incredibly compassionate and kind,
and no humanity at all behind these.
You're very
hazel
eyes.
You're full of empathy.
Kelly Clarkson, hazel eyes. Full of empathy.
Yeah, that gets me in trouble though.
Oh, really? Why?
Because it's not, it's my youngest son is a lot like this, and he's going through it a little bit in some ways. And
really?
Yeah, and I feel that way about Erika's gone through this. I can just tell. When you feel the world a bit too much, that's not. It is. It's not a great thing. You got to learn how to sift through because
that's when not caring comes in because you start to focus your empathy.
There's too much pain and suffering and injustice in the world, and it will overwhelm you and paralyze you.
It will.
That's why you need to focus your empathy.
And if you're
narrow it.
And if you're born that way, which I think people kind of are or are not, in general, we can teach and make sure, hey, we agree that you don't want to run a red light not because of a ticket, because you don't want to kill somebody. We can maybe agree on some of those things, but when you're born, I think you got to figure out how to mute that. Otherwise, you're going to end up in an institution.
Yeah.
Wait,
pretty much.
Which part?
If your nerve endings feel a little bit too much, you got to figure out how to, mute those.
Well, and it comes out in other ways. You have physical issues and you can't sleep.
Absolutely.
Or you're just drinking all the time, trying to numb it.
Yeah, no.
That's how some people. Yeah.
And it's not that you want to be that way or not want to be. I mean, I think people are just sort of wired, right? They kind of.
It would be nice to be like a psychopath, probably.
Sociopath and not
a sociopath. Yeah, not care.
Why do you
not have any feelings?
Those are the people that have to go the other way.
Probably sleep really well at night.
That's why you like
to learn.
That's why you like Curb or The Sopranos. That's why we love Tony Soprano, right?
I don't like Tony Soprano. Was not a good character. Sorry.
No, but you were
bad.
But you were fascinated in watching.
It's the brilliance of that show.
But you were fascinated in watching, right?
What? The fact that he struggled with that?
That he did a little bit something from time to time, didn't he?
Yeah, I was gonna say he wasn't like a
but he's not a sympathetic character.
No. But he did just enough, like when he was in the scene where he's in a restaurant and somebody's got a baseball cap on, in a nice restaurant, and he gets pissed, and he walks over and makes the guy take his baseball cap off. They're probably, and not that baseball caps are your thing. You probably don't care one way or the other, but no, I mean
I have a strong stance on baseball caps.
No, wearing a hat inside used to be a thing, right?
Oh yeah.
So.
No, I went to Catholic school, so yeah. No, I know all about hats.
But there are probably people that
wear them.
There are probably people that watched that and said, boy, I would love to have had the courage to go tell somebody to respect the place that we're eating at." That's what he did. So that
I don't think that's empathy, though.
No, it's not. But
if anything, that's a control freak.
Yeah.
No, it's not empathy at all. What I'm saying is, he occasionally did things that made you wish, boy, I wish I could.
But I would never wish or want to do that. I would just rather ridicule the person in my own head. Like, oh, what an asshole. I mean,
Right, just mumble things under your breath.
Yeah, or whoever I'm eating with, like, look at this asshole over there.
Right.
I mean, he's got his hat on. But
Which is why you love watching couples
that doesn't
on Facebook, kind of.
I love watching people, I'll admit it.
Me too.
Fascinated by, I could sit and people watch all day long. But then again, I grew up in Ann Arbor, so I had an endless amount of people watching.
No, I'm with you. That's I was in New York. It's my favorite thing about New York.
But
walking and getting in the subway and just looking, listening to.
I don't understand people that are bothered by somebody that would wear a hat, like that it breaks a social rule in their own head. Like, whatever, they're not you. Just don't be an asshole.
I could just get into just the way people look like slobs nowadays, in my opinion.
Oh, I'm going to disappoint you in that way.
Well, carry on, children. Let's hear this.
Sometimes
I didn't even shave today, and I did feel a little bit bad because I wouldn't have given a shit if it were Mike today, but I did feel a little bit bad. That's not good, is it?
My favorite thing about watching true crime, and I've told Drew this, is that I love people that know they're going to be interviewed. Well, this is a good news thing too, because I'm sure you've come across this plenty of times. Yep. They know they're going to be interviewed, and they put no thought into what they're wearing.
There was a guy I interviewed. He didn't wear pants. He knew
What?
He came outside. We thought, my photographer and I thought he was going to go in and put pants on. He didn't.
Wait, what was he wearing? Just no pants or underwear?
Just underwear. Just boxers and a shirt.
So boxers.
Well, he knows he's going to be shot.
At least they were boxers.
Waist up. Right.
But I mean, he went inside to go to the bathroom. I thought he would at least put some pants on. I mean, they were not long boxers.
What was he being interviewed for?
I think it was a shooting that was nearby.
But at least they were boxers.
And he made the final cut, I'm sure.
He did, actually.
But he had no pants on.
He wasn't in briefs, at least, right? I mean, they were boxers, so that helps a little bit.
They were not fitting well.
Oh, I gotcha.
But do you know what I mean? Where they'll do like a story on a horrific murder or something, and then they'll interview the victim's sister, and they're wearing, I don't know, a Tasmanian devil t-shirt or something. It's like, that's what you chose to wear?
I know.
You're talking about your dead sister? Is that me being petty?
No, I think that I have so much to say.
I find it hilarious.
No, I want to hear that.
Say it.
Yeah, I want to hear Erika.
I don't. Well.
And why do you sit here with?
Why do you
sit here with me and Marc?
Would you ever say to somebody like, "Sure, that's what you want to? You sure don't want to put pants on?"
I just let people do what they're gonna do. It's not my call.
Well, you're not supposed to, right? Isn't that the idea?
Yeah.
But still, you don't have pants on.
I mean, if I were in PR, being in PR, I've told people, no, put this on, wear this, do this. But as a journalist, no, you don't do that.
I know. Do you feel? Have you ever cared about what you put on?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, all the time.
What are you trying to say about Marc?
I mean, this is as good as it gets right here.
No, that's what I'm saying. He's got
put a lot of effort into this.
He's got jeans
and
on.
This is what you get.
He's got a clean T-shirt on. No, but I feel like a bum.
Marc, have you ever cared?
Probably.
Because I used to, and I feel bad that I don't so much anymore.
I will admit I dress for comfort most of the time.
Yeah, me too, and I feel bad.
I don't really care, but I do put some effort into this.
Young people, including my kids, one of them anyway, they go out in pajamas.
Fucking hate it.
I know. I can't stand it.
It's become a thing.
My 11-year-old is wearing Crocs now to school, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know why that bothers me so much.
I understand being comfortable. I'm not saying anything about that, but the pajamas or
slippers.
I hate it. I feel like I'm just becoming an old crotchety old
I'm gonna get hate
clouds.
for this too when I'm allowed to say
it.
But I have friends who are moms, and they'll go to pick up, and some of the moms, whoa.
No, describe
and don't
it, though.
use the
Describe
excuse because you're a mom.
Describe it, though.
Because I have some really hot mom friends, and they put a little effort in.
Julie always showers, gets ready before going to school.
Come on, man. And some of the dads.
5:30 if she needs to.
What are the offenses with some of the dads? Because I'm afraid I'm going to hear my...
Well, I mean, there's the hygiene issue. Like you haven't showered at all in days.
Oh, okay.
And then, some of the moms, same.
They don't want to live to society's standards, Erika. They want to just wake up, roll out of bed, and drive their kid to school. Why do you have to subject them to such height?
Then you know what? Fine, teach your child that.
I don't. Honestly, I just, once again, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, if that's how you want to do it, but it just speaks a little bit to somebody's character.
A little bit, right?
Yes.
Everyone's busy.
Shawn,
you can't take care of yourself physically a little bit.
It's funny how you make. Do you guys do this? It depends on who where I'm going to go. I have some friends that I don't.
And their children.
And they don't care.
I
don't care.
As well.
But sometimes if I meet somebody for lunch, it depends on who it is. I'll think, I'll shave. And other times I know they don't care, so I won't.
Right.
And I shave a lot. The older I get, I shave a lot less. I do shower every day, though, Mark.
And I'm not.
And I wash what little hair.
I'm not saying we all have to be.
What little hair I have.
We all have to be out in suits. But like I said before, I do love a man in a suit.
Oh God,
I know you do.
So sexy.
So
especially the 3-piece.
And I do.
Is it really that sexy when they're uncomfortable wearing it?
Yes. Because that makes it even more
that they're sacrificing.
Yes, they're putting in an effort.
Weird.
It's the effort, isn't it?
Yeah, and or like a guy puts in a little bit of like product in their hair or did something. It's the effort, I think, that
what if you don't have hair to put product in?
Then,
Or you put too much in.
No, yours looks good, Mark.
Or you put too much in.
Perpetually in front of the wind.
I think it's just the effort.
It makes my round face so round.
How would you guys feel if a woman just showed up looking like a slob, didn't shower all the time?
Oh, no, I would have no interest.
Yeah, you guys
I would
appreciate when we put effort. Yeah.
I'd be like, Shawn, shower.
But you guys appreciate when we put I know my hair's up today. It looks terrible.
Your hair looks terrible up or it looked terrible, so you put it up?
Both reasons.
Really?
Yeah.
But you don't care what people think.
Yeah.
Do you?
That's what you just said.
I think what
I care that people know that I put some effort.
It's more about how I feel.
Slob. Yeah.
It's about how it makes me feel. Mm-hmm. If I look a certain way, I feel I'm automatically feeling more confident.
Mine is I don't want one more reason for someone to pick on me or make fun of me.
Or there's that too,
No.
Also, when you're on TV every day, people are mean enough.
Yeah.
You're too fat. You're too skinny. Your hair's too long. It's too short. You got wrinkles.
But
you look too young.
That is all just bullshit noise. Those are people just needling you.
That's what I mean. It's just going to happen either way, so I might as well be myself.
I guess for me, I have these two conflicting ideas that butt up against each other as I've gotten older. One is, you're right, I don't care nearly as much. On the other hand, I do miss, I used to dress up all the time. My first real newspaper job was in the South back in an era when it was still a lot more formal, and I wore a tie every day and really nice slacks and like the fact that I just called them slacks, pants, whatever. and nice shoes,
trousers,
yeah, and
it probably put you in this work mindset, right?
Yeah, and I was probably buying clothes at a place that was a little bit, beyond what I was making.
Did you have an expenditure account?
No, but I used to
really?
go. Did you ever go into Van Boven in Ann Arbor?
Never heard of it.
It's just fabulous little men's clothing store.
Is it better than Klein's?
Once a year they had
That's
a sale.
reference for like 5 people that grew up in the Ann Arbor area. Klein's.
But anyway,
which had a husky section,
and I do miss that sometimes. But I feel I've gotten to the point where I feel so much, not shame, but just self-loathing with my body and how I look compared to how I used to look. I don't want to put anything nice on it. I'm saying it to remove it from me.
You really are.
to highlight or draw attention. You know what I mean?
I understand that.
And when I was young,
You're a beautiful man, Shawn.
And when I was young,
with hazel eyes,
I looked completely different, and I naturally just looked a certain way and it was easy. But now I don't want to bring any attention to how I've aged and not taking care of myself and all that. I want a turtle, I guess, subconsciously. Yeah, but at the same time, I don't care that much. It's a weird mix. So
interesting.
There we go. Like I said, Marc, it's a safe space in here when Erika's in here.
Well, if there's one thing you should care about, it's your financial future. And we've got a guy to help you out with that, right?
Heck yeah, we do.
Come on, give it up for that segment.
No, that's great. That's great. I wanted to hear what Erika was going to say. But
all right, go ahead,
Erika.
I'll
I get organized.
She looked very pensive over there.
Go ahead.
No, I just thought that was very insightful. I thought that was very vulnerable, you sharing that. I appreciate that. No, but honestly, I see where you're coming from.
That's the guy response.
No, I do see where you're coming from, and I bet a lot of people feel that way. I think when you don't feel comfortable, you don't want a lot of attention drawn to you. But
So
I bet
deep.
you'd look really good in a suit.
Oh, thank you. I don't mind if people are drawn to me
Once in a while.
That's why
Probably feel really good too.
I want to write. If people want to, they're drawn to me sometimes for the words that come out, and that's fine.
You know what I hate though? I'm obsessing over this whole suit thing. I hate it when people because nothing I hate more than wearing a suit. I hate it when you see a guy like wearing a suit when there's no purpose for it, right?
Right. Well, that's different.
And I think of like when I was in college, there was a guy who wore a fucking suit to class every day. And I'm like, who are you trying to impress? Are you trying to impress the professor or the women in class? And
maybe just himself, and he felt good.
Maybe
about
he felt good about it, and you're just you were triggered by it clearly,
and you felt
once again I just talked about him.
Yeah, you felt inferior,
and you were trying to drag him down.
No, I just talked about him behind his back and in my own head, like, oh, what an asshole.
And now you're talking about him now.
He knows
in fact,
who
he was probably perfectly fine.
I'm sure he was. He's probably a leader of industry now, and what do? I work in a basement.
Or maybe he's a guy that runs a corner grocer and just wanted to look nice. You don't know. You can't make assumptions.
No, but everybody makes assumptions about everything.
Maybe he was an escort and he had to wear a suit later that night every night.
You got to fight those.
For better and for worst, we all make assumptions. It's bad when they're based on, some stereotypical tropes, right?
That's true.
But I mean, everybody makes it. It's why people take care of themselves, and just because they know people are going to make assumptions of them, right?
Yeah, but you got to fight them too because you don't know. Like the first time Erika came in here, and I'd never met Erika, and Erika looks the way she looks, and the first things out of her mouth, other than a lot of laughter, are all this empathetic, psychiatric, seeing people, being seen, wanting to hear, wanting people to be heard, right? And so immediately, it's true though. Or you could. Or
what about when you first met me? I'm scared.
I didn't think anything, and that's what I tried.
Exactly. That's what I was going for.
But that's what I tried.
Slate.
No, but that's what I try to do. You try not to.
I don't ever want anyone to think anything.
I was a little worried about your calf muscles, but
oh, there it is, objectifying me again. Anyway, let's talk about your financial health again, right? Because it could be the end of our nation. It could be the end of times. And if that's the case, you're going to be screwed either way. So why not ask Luke Nowacki for help managing your investment portfolio as the country implodes like the last days of Rome? So what do you have to lose? Because you can't lose more than 100%. So check out our buddy Luke Nowacki. Call or text him 248-663-4748. And he'll give you look over your investments, your wealth, where you should be. Shawn's on his phone again. And what's so important on your phone? Maybe you're calling Luke at 248-663.
A couple of texts from my day job.
48, because when you call Luke, he'll make it all about you, sweetheart.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through
Mosaic Wealth.
Inc. member FINRA-SIPC.
Mosaic Wealth.
Inc. is separately owned, and other entities and or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent.
Mosaic Wealth.
Inc.
Oh man, the geeks have inherited the earth.
Did I do that?
What a dork.
Does him wanting to play with us again mean that he's turning into a geek, or we're turning into cool guys?
Shawn, do you have a Geek of the Week nomination? Did you do your homework?
Yeah, myself, because Erika's over there drinking something that's...
It's a protein coffee shake.
Exactly, and I'm drinking fucking Coke.
Oh,
because I'm
delicious.
Tired.
I'm tired too.
But Erika's going the right way, and I'm going the dark way.
Okay, I'm not going to accept that.
Yeah, I don't. That's not you're doing your homework.
You know what I mean?
That if I were the teacher, I'd suspend you. I'd just kick you out of class.
I'm in
You're
a particularly self-loathing mood today. Maybe that's it.
Well, because of that, I'm going to change the Geek of the Week, and I'm going to make it. Do you know? You probably know a lot of writers around the country. Do you know Rustin Dodd?
No.
Okay.
I don't know writers.
Rustin Dodd is a journalist. Is that better? For the Athletic.
I know nothing. Period. About anything.
And what he does is he kind of looks at sports and tries to do things that people in sports are doing. And one of the
fuck him.
Thing.
I don't know who he is.
This is a lighthearted Geek of the Week, but his editor wanted him to drink Dan Campbell's coffee regiment. Do you know what his coffee regimen is?
Oh, yeah.
I've forgotten.
It's called a black eye. He gets 2 20-ounce, which I don't know why you just get 1 40-ounce, but 2 20-ounce Pike Place roast at Starbucks. And
with espresso?
2 shots of espresso in each.
And with the dog.
With a what?
With his dog.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he brings his dog with him.
Well, this writer didn't have a dog, so he just drank the coffee.
And his wife takes a picture and posts it on Instagram. Is that okay?
No. I think that's... Who cares? Like, why? Why would he... Why are you trying to bring me down that road again?
I'm just trying to have fun. We have permission to have fun today. We got to take advantage of it. We get to do this next week, too.
What are you trying to say about ML?
And then it'll be all over.
But the reason this guy's my Geek of the Week is not because he did this, but because I found it amazing how affected he was by all that caffeine. Because he had to lay down. He had to...
Yeah, I couldn't have all that caffeine.
So who's the Geek of the Week? The editor?
Small.
So the editor's the Geek of the Week?
No, this guy for being soft, for not being able to handle the caffeine.
So what happened to him?
No, then he writes a whole... And I'll promote his article in the New York Times, The Athletic, because it's kind of a fun little article, I suppose. But I was just surprised, like...
That is fun, actually.
Does caffeine affect you that much?
We
It
should
does
have
not
done
affect
that.
me.
I know people who can drink espresso before bed.
Yeah, me too. I'm guilty.
That's you?
Oh, totally. Yeah.
I wonder. I don't understand that.
Caffeine has like little effect on me unless I don't drink it, and then I just get a headache because I probably...
So you're addicted?
Without a doubt I'm addicted to it, just like Dan Campbell. So
I stopped drinking it for 2 years, and then I went back.
Oh, that
I was
sounds
like,
awful.
Yeah, it would.
One of my best buds ever would start, back when we were young, would start his wait shift, his service shift, with by getting high as shit. And then,
so like most.
And then
I was just gonna say that it's most people.
And then countering it with about 4 espressos. Yeah. So he was living in that, whatever that kind of weird.
Did that make his day go by
altered
faster?
I don't know if I would enjoy that. That doesn't sound fun.
That's how he did it.
It would make your day go by.
That's not appealing
slow.
to me. Yeah, either one of them. I wouldn't want to do either one of them.
Well, that should be maybe that's a good gonzo journalism for you. Why don't you get really high and covering a sporting event?
Oh, well, and see if I could write.
I can tell you that would get a ton of clicks.
I kind of want to see that.
If you wrote about it, no,
that's what I mean.
I made the mistake of
a little gonzo journalism.
Taking a toke a few years ago off of
taking a toke.
You're wearing your slacks.
Yeah. Smoking some grass.
The devil's lettuce.
Yeah. Oh my.
What happened?
Devil's lettuce.
So I found some herb that was no. That was a dispensary. It was a dispensary shit. Right? It was.
Okay.
And I just wasn't prepared from back when I used to smoke 30 years ago. I wasn't prepared for the density of the THC crystals on the herb, on the bud. So to speak.
Yeah. So what happened to you?
It was like an LSD trip. It was not fun. I just curled up in a corner and.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was not good.
I think we've all had one of those.
Yeah,
years ago.
Yeah, it's way too strong for me now.
There was someone who was in studio.
So I'm the Geek of the Week. I'm soft.
Do you ever know those people that are like really into weed, like that know everything about it?
Yes.
Just probably
like
too
wine or beer.
Yeah, but I don't know why. It's probably a stereotype in my head. I feel like with weed, it's all the same to me for the most part. But when they get
I'm the same way. Like what is there to know?
Well, I guess.
But I guess there is. There's different strains.
Yeah, it's got.
I understand that.
Sure.
But
okay.
No, seriously. I go into a dispensary fairly frequently to pick up for people. Anyway,
what?
Yeah, I do. And
what are you, a dealer?
I know. What's this?
No.
I take you to the streets.
No, there's some people.
Underage people.
There's some people in the family that help it along with some other stuff to help with mental illness and so forth.
Sure.
And they don't have cars. So, but you walk in and it's a lot like going into
a store. It's just
a pharmacy combined with a really nice wine shop or something or or and people know and they can tell you all, and there's so many.
Yeah, but how much?
What
of
are you
that is-
feeling? How are you
much of that is
going
marketing?
through? Do you want to sleep? No. There are all these different. It's no different than any other drug. Some drugs make you sleepy. Some drugs make.
I know, but have you ever been to like a pretentious wine tasting where they're like, "You're going to taste"?
I'm not
this,
saying
and then
it's
you
not.
drink it and you're
I'm
like,
not saying
"Okay,
it's
I
not
guess."
pretentious, but but it's pretentious for pretension is sometimes is based on a little bit of truth too, right?
Well, anyway, I knew somebody who was really into it, and like so much so that the different contraptions used to ingest the marijuana, was like a storeroom, and they brought in like a vaporizer or something, and they're like, "Here, hit this," and of course, it's like, okay, so I did,
Of course.
and I was not prepared for it, like you weren't, and I could not stare at a screen for about 2 hours
because you didn't want to see yourself for once.
No, I just could not handle staring at any screen that was in. The studios are just.
Did you
covered
ever
in
used to
screens.
sprinkle cocaine on
No.
your joints?
No,
I was just curious.
did you?
No, I'm just curious if you did.
Wait, where'd that
First
question
off,
come
if
from,
I did,
Shawn?
I would never admit it. But
I know,
secondly,
me too.
No, I just never.
No, I was just curious if you ever mixed.
No,
uppers, downers. Did you ever?
no, I'm pretty good with one thing at a time.
Like my friend doing all the espresso shots and
what kind of maniac needs to mix a bunch of stuff?
Smoking a few bowls. I think
I've seen people take Adderall, cocaine, then smoke weed and drink. I know.
What, Heath Ledger, right?
And I'm just like, how do you? I don't know. I don't know how people do it.
How do you do it, Shawn?
The one time I did it, I couldn't move my body.
Sprinkled the cocaine on the joint.
No, I got high and had probably not a 12, but maybe 7, 8 beers, and I got high and did a little speed and topped it off with
Did a little speed
and
and-
topped it off with
during COVID
with muscle relaxants.
What?
What a combo!
I was in a buddy's trailer. He lived in a trailer, and
Where was this?
It was in Texas, and we just sat there on the couch. We sat there on the
When
couch
was
and
this?
couldn't move and watched Love Boat
Oh my god!
reruns.
Greatest night of your life. Wait,
You were watching Love Boat?
I was in college. It was a break. I'd gone home. And you know how when you go home,
Who was this guy?
It
Yeah,
was
are you
a
still
high
in touch
school
with this
friend.
guy?
It was a high school friend who hadn't gone to college. So when you were in college, you went home. Sometimes you'd see
Sure.
high school friends that didn't go to college.
Sure.
Is this
Back
his
in the-
idea?
Yeah, well, maybe, yeah.
think
And he was a contractor. He did bathroom installs. Whatever.
Oh, cool.
Back in those days,
Yeah.
you could go make a pretty decent living
Still
right
can.
out of high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. In
Oh, yeah,
in the
hell yeah.
trades you can.
In
Yeah.
trades, yeah, skilled.
But anyway, yeah. So we'd hanging out. I was friends with all kinds of folks, and
When was the
with
last time?
with all the groups in high school. I got along with everybody.
When was the last time you saw this person? Did you?
What's he up to?
Better yet, do you follow him on?
1986.
Do you follow him on Facebook or anything? Do you know if they're
No,
alive?
but I did. I've been to one reunion. I went to a 35-year reunion, however many years ago, and he was supposed to go, and so I thought we were going to see each other, but it didn't work out.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So he's alive?
Yeah.
He's not on social media. Is he lying about all his
He
social
owns
media?
a contracting business out
Really?
out northwest somewhere. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. See?
So you
Maybe
think
guys
everybody
could catch
that
up, watch some
experiments
Love
when
Boat, get some.
you think Captain
Mix some drugs.
Captain Stubing has good life advice, so he can be a form of a therapy. You know what I mean?
Gavin McLeod.
Gavin McLeod.
All right. On that
And
note.
Isaac the bartender too.
What? Oh, that's right. He was the one with all the sage advice.
Oh yeah.
Remember the double point? Oh God, I'm dating myself. Sorry.
Yeah, you are.
There's an all-night party in room 7609. And you can dance together all night if you've got the time.
Well, in honor of Shawn, we will scrap it. We'll scrap room 7609 just for you, Shawn. Are you happy?
Really? No, I'm now I feel guilty.
No, wait a sec. You just told me during the intro that you have to leave soon, and I know Erika needs to leave soon, so we need to shave time
We
somewhere.
both need to leave in about 5 minutes.
But now you're trying to throw me under. Now you're throwing me under the bus like it's my fault.
No, I didn't mean that at all. I feel like my fault. Everything's always my fault. No,
Yeah, everything is always your
Of
fault.
course it is. No, it's my fault. Yeah. So Mike.
All right, no, you're pedaling. No, we're gonna skip it. But I want you to have a song with a story next week. Can you do that?
I can absolutely do that. Are you going to be here next week?
I don't think I can be here next week.
Really?
I think we're gonna have another rotating guest hosting.
Yeah,
it's not really cool.
Aw.
Or fair.
That's not really nice to whoever comes in next week either.
Yeah, you'll have a good guest.
No, not really.
Dick.
No, I meant the more the merrier, right?
Sure.
Sure, that's what you meant.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I meant.
And that's a good place. A more the merrier place would be the Caju Cafe. That's not as good of a segue. But the Caju Cafe is another sponsor of this here show. Of course, it's on Caju Road down in Detroit. They got a lot of stuff going on. CajuCafe.com. They're feather bowling. They have steamed mussels, other Belgian specialties, burger sandwiches, pommes frites, live music, more than 3 dozen beers from Belgium. All at the Caju Cafe.
Drink those and have some speed and your muscle relaxers, Shawn.
Oh, that's a nice. Let's do that.
Yeah.
I love the Caju.
It balances out, and you're left in your natural state, which is paralysis.
Well, if you're not paralyzed, go to the Caju. Lots of live music.
Or even if you are.
The whole schedule. Well, I just meant if you're not in a paralyzed state, sitting in your buddy's trailer.
I'm gonna go toke right now.
Speed and muscle relax. It's just such an.
It's so
It sounds
odd.
like two college guys who just. What do we have?
Whatever we have, just
all of it. So you're alert, but you're inert at the same time.
Alert,
so
inert.
it's kind of a nice
and it rhymes.
So you can pay attention, but you don't have to go anywhere. You just sit there. I don't know. It's not why we did it. I don't know. We were young and stupid.
No, it's fine, and you're doing fine, and he's dominating. His business. So he's doing great.
He's the king of Idaho. I don't know.
And if he didn't do it, maybe he wouldn't be so successful today. So, kids, there's a lesson for you. When you come home from college, do all the drugs you can with your friends.
Just trying to take the edge off, right? As you're trying to figure the world out.
Boy, has this devolved. So yeah, Caju. That was the Caju Cafe read interrupted by Shawn's memories of doing drugs.
You did a great job.
There is some feedback, of course. Please rate, review. Well, maybe not this episode, but the show in general. It really does help on sites when it says, "Do you like this show?" Give it 5 stars, and then tell us why you hate it. But do the whole 5-star thing first, please, if you can. And if you want to help us out and sponsor the show, because you really are our third sponsor after Luke and the Caju. We're talking about the Soulmates, and that's on patreon.com. Just search that and search ML Solo Detroit, where you can see video. You can see Shawn's dead hazel eyes. They're hazel, but there's nothing behind them. So yeah, anything else you got before you guys both have to jet and leave?
It was fun.
I set up the outro. It was fun.
Aw.
Oh,
worst. All right, do the honors.
Cyrus, take us out.
Can you dig that?
Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Well, it looks like you've been missing quite a bit of work lately.
Well, I wouldn't say I've been missing it. That's just a straight shooter with upper management written all over him.
You haven't been showing up and you get to keep your job.
Actually, I'm being promoted.
I know you've been getting pretty depressed about your job and everything, and so I just wanted to tell you, good things can happen in this world. I mean, look at me.
The soul of Detroit.